Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review number 210. I am Virtue, the moderator, being joined by this week's elite panel of the review. Just four of us. Aaron Rift, as always. Walter Cruz, Virtue number 2, is back. And the simple man, Noah Foster, returning this evening. Gentlemen, what's up? I'll start with you, Noah.
Hey, hello, NoDQ family and team. Great to be back once again on this platform. I'm doing very well. It's been nice, subtle, simple work week from home. Feeling a lot better versus this time last week. And looking forward to us engaging in the light conversation ahead on all things wrestling. Shout out to the AEW family on Twitter. And other related topics of sports entertainment. And it's good to see y'all once again.
Good to have you here, and we're going to talk some topics, and we'll get your input very soon. So please stand by. Hopefully I don't make you go to your book this evening, but we will see what happens.
I'm almost done reading that, actually.
Yeah. That'd be funny if you went to playing a video game while I was ranting. That would be good times right there.
Well, I do have my Switch, but I don't have the new Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. But I know there's new Mario Kart courses, so don't tempt me.
It's always something to do.
Absolutely.
Walter, what's up?
How's everyone doing? Glad to be back. Had the week off, but I'm back. Hopefully we can still get under 2 hours even with me on here, but we'll see.
How about under 1? Let's go. Let's do a classic 57-minute show tonight.
Hey,
Iron Man match.
That's not a bad idea. I've been diving hard in Horizon Forbidden West, so definitely got to continue that.
There's a good football game on tonight, so it might hurt our ratings. Who knows? But anyway, Walter, we'll be back to you shortly as well. Let's get over to Aaron Rift and get his input, and then we will start our topics.
Happy to have everyone on tonight. Should be a fun live stream. Shout out to the early birds. As always, Nick Lavin, John, Harito, DHK, Cleaver, Colin Andrew, Darren G, Michael Wayne, Eric, CC Drink, Brendan Crabtree, Tommy Hauser. Thank you all for tuning in live, early, and Mr. Tito's here too. He had a column out this week, which was a little bit controversial about women's wrestling, but we're all here to talk about other topics. We got CM Punk, what's going on with him, MJF, and more. So let's get to it.
All right. Well, the first topic, we're going to start with this whole thing that's going on with MJF based on Dynamite last night. Now, all we've heard about MJF since he's basically been around it from the indies to AEW is he is just that modern day great heel. He invests into the character. He's 24/7 with it. And fans who are supposed to hate the bad guy like the bad guy because he does such a great job at it. Well, fast forward to Dynamite last night, and we have this little group called The Firm that, here's the thing. After the show last night, MJF was lying out. I think who did it? Was it Morrissey? Morrissey, I know they.
Yep.
Yeah,
dude, I'm telling you, in there's that natural. The fans want to cheer this guy.
Yep.
Okay, so Noah, I'm going to start with you. It's one thing to want to be that awesome, great heel, right? That's kind of how he made his name for himself. But at some point, look at Stone Cold. You can't deny the fans who they want to cheer for, right? Especially if it's organic. This might be the strike while the iron's hot with MJF. What does everybody think here? Are we going to get swerved? Is this going to be a whole setup? Like, it's weird for him to take punishment, but that's happened in wrestling before, just to fool people in the end, and he's still going to be heel. But I'm telling you, man, they need the face of the company more now than ever. I know Moxley's trying to. MJF, man, he could be top babyface, but it's hard for anybody to think that based on his heel work. But Noah, what is your take on this here? Because it's one of those where wrestling fans want to respect his heel work, but is that really being a good heel then? So why not just be a babyface, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like it's suspension of disbelief. You talk about the roles of heel and babyface, but in this day and age where social media kind of tells you that kayfabe is dead and you separate the character from the person, you see a lot more, though, of MJF showing a bit more of that split type of identity between social media and on screen. And right now, people are invested in Maxwell Jacob Friedman, no matter his identity on screen. At this point, Christian Cage loves to work everybody. He's uber heel. Chris Jericho's becoming the uber heel of Ring of Honor. John Moxley, he is the company guy. It feels like MJF is the face that AEW needs. I said since WWE 2019, the inauguration of the AEW brand, when it came to the presentation of the championship, it was surrounding two men. One that was somewhat known due to his relationship with the Elite. The other, a complete unknown wild card per se, that came across from the indies. In my opinion, MJF is the guy to literally carry the AEW banner into the future as the ultimate babyface. He has that level where he could get that sort of pop reaction and ovation no matter what he does, but to become a babyface with his track record where he started in this company as, okay, he's kind of babyface with Cody, and then he turned on Cody, kicking him in the balls. And then you see him have this negotiational relationship with the firm. And
who did he fire? Was it that Stokely Hathaway guy? Or?
Yeah, he fired the so-called guy that was leader of the firm, longtime friend of him on the indies. It's like the devil made a deal with another devil. Lucifer and Judas working together. Who's the worst of the two? At this point, do you know who the devil truly is? I'm not sure. Bottom line, though, MJF has all the potential to literally lead this company because the fans invest in him, no matter what his role. But at this point, after that angle, I say literally go in full gear as babyface. John Moxley, he's treated no matter what. He's going to flip off the people that like him. He's going to flip the people that don't like him. But putting the title on MJF, that literally turns a corner in this company. John Moxley goes on vacation. MJF now holds the place as the face. I think they need to really push the trigger on this before the year's out. And I'm curious how this follows up. Like John Moxley, MJF, backstage angle, impromptu beatdown on the firm, not helping one another, but to have a new common enemy. It's one of those things now where I look at the environment of AEW. I'm not sure who the ultimate bad guy is here, but MJF has the potential to be the ultimate good guy.
And Mr. Tito said he's not larger than life. Well, it's true. He's not the Wardlow guy.
Yeah.
But with the microphone, he is. And if I remember correctly, Daniel Bryan got the whole what's that dome down in New Orleans? Superdome.
Superdome, brother.
He got them all standing on their feet going, yes, yes, yes. And he's a small man.
He built a movement, and the entire night was dedicated to that moment.
And
Mr. Tito taking the L again.
So, well, but I get it, though. I'm all for the bigger guys, too. But, like, you still have to have a blend. Now, Noah, I want to ask you this. Long-term booking, you know they're going to bring the Elite back, okay? Are these guys going to be heels in the fans' eyes because of everything that happened with CM Punk? Could this be – we don't know, but, like, you would think that would make that easier for them to do their job, is to come out and be pricks after all of this and be heels. Why not have MJF as a face? They could bump that. That could be a feud, right? MJF, babyface versus Elite heel. Like, you got to think that maybe that whole scenario with Punk and the EVPs could be changing the course of MJF too, right? I mean, what do you
think? The entire course of AEW. I feel that vignette kind of gave you literally what you're talking about here. When I think of MJF as face, you got to have the ultimate bad guy to go after. Once he overcomes this little bit with the firm, I feel the Elite as the ultimate heel 40 figures trying to hold MJF down in place. They are beneath him. Is an interesting angle because, again, it resets the script in the AEW environment, because without John Moxley there, you got to have a new anti-hero against MJF.
Well, no Punk, but also, too, with no Punk and the fans that like that, you start, like, letting MJF be like that WWE version of CM Punk where he could be a heel or a face, but he's speaking his mind, which is what the fans like.
Tell me when MJF is telling lies. I feel like the initial plan for MJF to one day become the face of this company, because I thought he truly was going to be that the first day I saw him doubled up for 2019. Now it seems that's finally coming to fruition. I didn't think that CM Punk was going to be part of that equation, so I never really put that into perspective. With MJF in here, it kind of threw a wrinkle in that, and I feel like MJF was trying to make his stance towards that. And here we are now looking at a two-different row. I wouldn't mind seeing Heyman and Page and MJF finally colliding, with Heyman being the heel once he comes back from injury, because, again, they have history going back to day one. So definitely the Elite versus MJF is the approach that I would go to in 2023, with MJF as the babyface of the company, title or not. But I feel he has to get the championship.
Well said. Hey, Walter, again, we could all be swerved here. and this could all be a ruse, and MJF's still going to be a prick. I mean, probably not. But what's your input here based on what we know so far? I mean, Aaron posted that post on NoDQ, seemingly turned face, so we gotta still see how this plays out.
Suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, storylines like these are the best because the fact that you have to guess and everybody has a different opinion and we're all speculating means they're doing something right. They're doing it the right way. They're doing exactly what they need to do. And who knows if it's a swerve or it's a. I personally think it might be a swerve, but hopefully he is face. Like, I'll be happy. I'm one of those that be happy either way. And maybe he'll be like more like a Stone Cold. Like Stone Cold was beloved by everybody, but if you really look at the way he behaved, and he really wasn't a face per se or the typical face. He was just doing his own thing, and people loved it because we all lived vicariously through him. Because who the hell doesn't want to hit their boss or be anti establishment, you know? And they worked with Stone Cold, and it seems like this is what MJF is doing. He's just anti everything. But now, I mean, I saw an interview on YouTube where he's like saying how much he loves Tony Khan because he gave him what he wanted with the money, and he was like, Tony Khan's a great guy, and he was like being sarcastic because of money. And then he said, but we'll see come 2024. So that storyline is still going on too. Exactly. About his free agency, and no one even knows. I was gonna say, no one even knows that that's real. He probably already has an extension, and no one even knows it.
Yes, Cody's in WWE and they're friends, but and the thing is, he's young enough where he could play out AEW beyond 2024, and still down the road, once he's even a bigger star because he's had more years under his belt, could still go to WWE. Like he knows there's no rush for that, and WWE's known for having guys in when they're in their mid-30s, you know what I mean? When they're older.
Yes.
So look how old AJ Styles was when he came to WWE.
He's going to play both companies and make a shit ton of money.
What was AJ Styles? 37 when he came to WWE? Like, he was up there. Yeah.
When he came into the Royal Rumble as entrant number 3. So, again, MJF right now, he's the guy in the industry that holds it in his hands, both in and out of the ring.
The man can sign, what is he, 25? He can sign a 5-year extension and still be 30. He could still be 30, 31 when to come into WWE. That's still young, you know, and he can do whatever he wants. The world is in his hand. I mean, I know that's Bray Wyatt's thing, but really MJF has the wrestling world in his hand right now, and he could literally do anything.
I mean, between the suspension of disbelief about Bidding War 2024, whether or not he is right now becoming the ultimate face or he's still the devil that we don't know, there are several different aspects that anybody can use to invest in this guy and the story being told, because we don't know how it's going to unfold.
And the fact that he promised not to use the ring, what if he just breaks the promise? Now we all think he's an ass again. You know what I mean? Or what if he switches like everyone else says and uses William Regal's brass knuckles? He's like, hey, I just said I wasn't going to use the ring. The ring. I didn't say I wasn't going to cheat.
I mean, he still said he is MJF at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And look, his backstage
there's so many ways out of
Renee, he was like insulting Virginia, yet praising Virginia. Yeah, he was like doing both things. He was like, when she was saying, you can't say with all due respect, and they said, and then say something disrespectful, and he said, with all due respect, shut up. Like he still was playing like that was funny as hell to me.
Well, what do you prefer him as then? The heel that we all know, or to see where this pseudo babyface type, maybe in betweener goes?
Yeah, I think it's in betweener. Like, either way, I'm happy though. But he might just be a tweener.
Everybody pick a side.
Yeah.
Well, all right, over to you, Aaron. I know a super chat came in, at least one I saw.
Yeah, and as I mentioned on Wednesday night, this very well could be a swerve, but at the same time, it feels like it could work with him as a babyface. The crowd's cheering him anyways, and sometimes I think it's better to go with what the audience wants rather than fight them. If the people want to cheer MJF, let them cheer MJF. He doesn't have to be the Hulk Hogan type of babyface. You can have him be like Steve Austin 1997, where he goes out there and he even says, I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm just MJF. He does his thing, and you can have him in that babyface-like role where people are double-crossing him and he has to get his revenge, so to speak, and he brings in maybe the Pinnacle to help him out against the firm. There's a lot of different ways this can go, and I'm looking forward to what they do next. By the way, Walter sent in a $5 super chat at the start. He said, welcome to No DQ Review 210. Say yes to No DQ. Click, like, share. Hashtag stick to my shtick. Thank you for that, Walter. Appreciate it.
Translation, keeping my spot.
Right.
Just messing with you.
And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Psycho. Says, I know MJF is a great heel, but after Jamie Hayter and Daniel Garcia, I would not mind him turning face instead of doing the predictable thing of staying heel. So, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. The thing is, now we're all thinking, is this some kind of swerve? Is this like what happened years ago when there was The Rock teasing that he was going babyface, and then at Survivor Series 98, he joined up with Vince and Shane McMahon. People are thinking of that storyline. So, yeah, I think maybe the less obvious thing to do would be to go full forward with the babyface turn. What do you guys think?
I think the whole Garcia thing is a swerve. Like, he's gonna
from within to try and get the Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
it was a real
destroy the society from within.
If the fans are gonna like somebody, make them a babyface or like a tweener. And the people that the fans hate and want to boo for whatever reason, like make them the heels. Like, oh, go away, heat. No, we need heat again, like true heat. We don't need fans praising heels for their heel work.
You don't find a lot of that. You don't find a lot of that pure heat anymore, though, Virtue, in this day and age of social media, where again, suspension of disbelief is almost blurred. But to MJF's credit, he's kept both the character and himself kind of in line in both the on-screen and the virtual platform. That's why it works so well in this kind of way.
Mysterio's getting some bad heat. Dominic,
and I think the Elite could come back and get some big heat. Like I really do.
Yeah.
So
Dominic can't even open his mouth. Dominic can't even talk.
I'm intrigued to see them back on camera and how they're going to present themselves through all of this Punk controversy. Like that, to me, like I might put them over if they go out there and get booed out of the building.
Well, again, you saw this yet. What they previously has been done is being erased from history. So what will they become?
I mean, look at Dominic Mysterio. All he does is grab the mic and gets booed out of the building. Like he can't even talk. Like he can't even open his mouth, and they boo the hell out of him.
Let's go away, Heat. That's what they know.
Yeah. And Aaron, what's that Hogan that used to say, "I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm just the guy." Was that Hogan?
That's Roman Reigns, dude.
Roman.
Yeah, that was Roman Reigns at one point. He said that.
Roman said that. I don't know if anyone else said something similar, but
and not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Shawn Michaels said it back in like 96, 97. He's like, I don't care if you boo me or cheer me, as long as you pay a ticket and have a good time, that's all that matters.
Yep.
And the thing with MJF is it's hard to get the majority of the audience behind you. It's easy to be a heel and get that cheap heat, but to get the people to love you, that's tough. And MJF has accomplished that because he's so damn entertaining on the mic.
And I said in the chat, he did it organically, and Vince might have screwed him all up if he was in Vince's WWE just because he got over on his own.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different.
I love this next super chat, Aaron.
Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. But I do want to say,
simple. Don't worry about it.
I do want to say that if CM Punk had stuck around, I think CM Punk would have gone heel. I think they would have tried to do like the Steve Austin Bret Hart double turn, where MJF would have gone face and CM Punk would have been the heel. People were waiting for that CM Punk heel turn that we never really got, like just for him to go back into total a-hole mode. And sadly, that wasn't meant to be. But maybe he'll be back one day. Never say never. However, we'll talk more about CM Punk later.
The real world situations.
I think it kind of depends on where they are. Like people are they're always going to get cheered in their hometown, no matter who you are.
But Walter, it's one thing to do in your hometown. It's another to do it anywhere you go. There's a reason why John Cena was polarized, but always drew something wherever he went. MJF is literally doing that.
Yeah, he is.
Aaron, I'll say Mr. Tito super chat. You're gonna like this. So he's asking me, $1.99 for Mr. Tito. Virtue, what do you think about Triple H getting illness redacted? Did you get that right there? Did you get that, Noah? All right, you got the whole controversy of me saying stuff about COVID. Look, I'm pretty sure we haven't heard anything bad news. That Triple H is doing okay, and that's good. And hopefully we'll see him do more of his creative, and we're going to kind of talk about some of the Triple H stuff that is his wheels spinning later on in the main event when we talk about CM Punk. But I'm
Monday
pretty
Night
sure
Raw-
Trips is doing okay from his positive COVID diagnosis.
Monday Night Raw got more sick than Triple H because Raw took the hit for the last 2 weeks because it kind of sucked.
Ooh.
Are you caught up, Aaron? Think so?
We have a few more actually.
Okay.
And I also wanted to say MJF is a babyface. Think of the merchandise potential.
Exactly.
I think that's easy money right there. And you look back, Steve Austin, they just organically went with it. And even Ric Flair, they say MJF cannot be a babyface. Well, people said that about Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And he was one of the greatest baby faces of all time. And when they tried to turn him heel in 1999, it kind of flopped when they double turned him and Hollywood Hogan. I think that you just got to go with what the people want. If they want babyface MJF, then let him go out there and be as much of a babyface without being a completely different character. Like he still has to be that outspoken kind of an a-hole type of guy, but he's the people's a-hole.
Like Austin never changed. He was still.
That's what I
Austin.
meant. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
what is MJF scarf a merch? Can you buy that? Like, I wonder how many people would buy that scarf if it is merch.
Well, there's a parody scarf on there that says, like, this is a scarf I knew in the early days of shopaew.com. I'm like, okay, that's pretty funny. But as far as, his actual scarf, dude, that's a friggin' Burberry scarf. You go to Burberry.com, the actual stuff of those things are $300 a pop.
I'm trying to think, what is his merch? Like, just his shirt?
Of shirts. He has
that's
a ton
it.
of shirts.
Like, if I was AEW, I'll sell the ring, all that. People will pay. If they pay for replica belts, they'll pay for a replica ring like that.
I mean, will they pay $100,000 for a so-called Dynamite diamond ring?
No, but if you can make it $300-$400 and it'd be fake. I mean, those belts cost like $500-$400. They're not the same material, but people
the market
still pay
value
it.
of cubic zirconium versus pure 24-karat diamond is definitely a marginal difference. So I see your point.
Yeah.
Not that I would know.
All right. We do have a few more super chats. Dwayne Atkinson sent in $5. Thank you, Dwayne. Much appreciated. Says, could Regal be the swerve and turn on BCC and join MJF? Yeah, if MJF stays heel, I could definitely see that being what happens. As Walter mentioned, the brass knucks instead of the Dynamite diamond ring. Would not shock me if that's what happens at Full Gear, but we'll have to wait and see, right?
I think that would actually be more interesting if they did that. Like, because I mean, either way, it's fine, but that'll be more intriguing, I should say.
The beauty of this, though, is there are so many ways right now, and this does not seem so obviously predictable that we love it and we're invested in it. And that just goes to the marketable value of MJF. That's good for AEW. They just got to capitalize on it or continue to.
Mm-hmm.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, reformed face Pinnacle versus the Elite and Hangman Adam Page.
That's an interesting callback right there.
I like it.
I like the idea a lot.
There
John Spears recently coming back. FTR, Wardlow, all together, the boys. Can past sins be absolved? I mean, I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah, I would be up for it. Bring back Omega and the Young Bucks as heels. I mean, a lot of people aren't happy with them after this whole CM Punk incident.
I'll bring them all back, Punk included, and have them actually have a fight. Why not bring some storyline into real life and blur lines?
Yeah.
Controversy creates money, right?
Exactly. They should be all over this, but
yeah, misinterpretation, legal action. Come on.
Yeah, there's been a lot more coming out about all this stuff, but yeah, it looks like the Young Bucks.
I'm a big fan of Larry, though. Like I never knew Larry existed before all of this, and now I like Larry as one of my favorite pets.
In the wrestling industry.
Who knows what's going on with all this, but yeah, it looks like Kenny Omega and the Bucks will be back soon, and I'm very curious to see how they are presented and how the audience reacts to them when they return.
How they're inserted in the AEW environment.
All right. Mr. Block Ice 22 sent in a $2 super chat. Says, just Stone Cold MJF. Let him be himself. He got it. I think we can all agree on that one.
That's definitely a key word. It.
And Psycho Jet Black. Well, whatever it is, he has it. And Psycho Jet Black sent in another $2 super chat. Says, imagine paying $20 for a Von Wagner t-shirt. Imagine paying $2.
I could get 3 12-packs of Mountain Dew and still have $7 left over. No, thank you.
Imagine getting one as a gift for Christmas.
I burn it.
What's your address, Virtue?
I'm gonna wear it on the review.
You're gonna wear it on the review?
Sure, you got my address. Come on.
I mean,
Oh yeah, I do. I think I do. Yeah.
Should.
I mean, honestly, anybody could use a T-shirt, even if it's related to something that you have absolutely 0 F's about. So I probably donate to Goodwill. Actually, good deed. But anyway.
All right, we're caught up.
All right. Well, filler topic time. Walter.
All right.
Walter. Are we gonna get as WWE? Not we. Is WWE going to get rid of gimmick name pay-per-views such as these rumors that we've heard, like Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber? Remember when those matches meant something because there was one match of that kind built up for a certain pay-per-view instead of putting it on its own pay-per-view and having multiple matches in the same structure, and it's like watered down. You could even throw like TLC into this conversation. I think that Triple H should get creative and take away some of these pay-per-view names and bring some cool names back. They got the WCW, most of the WCW library.
If not all of it.
I know, but most, or new, something new, and make it memorable, like make it feel like it's something different and new. Walter, what do you think here? Scott, we all have to be in agreement with this.
Raging Virtue, saying it for the last decade.
PLE, not pay-per-view.
I'm just hoping that they do get rid of these gimmicks. All these gimmick PLEs, all they did was water down the stipulation matches. The Extreme Rule, like Hell in a Cell meant something. It was usually the third or fourth match. Well, the last match in any rivalry, somebody was part of a faction or had friends that kept interfering in the matches, and then the people were like, screw it, no one can interfere in a Hell in a Cell. We're going to book a Hell in a Cell. You got nowhere to run. You can't hide. I mean, which is funny because the first one, somebody did interfere. I mean, Kane debuted, but still the whole purpose was for DX to not be able to get involved, or Shawn Michaels can't run because Shawn Michaels was a scared little punk that always ran from The Undertaker. I don't mean really, but his character was like a scared punk that always ran from The Undertaker or got cheap wins on him. So that's what the Hell in a Cell was built. Extreme Rule matches was an ECW thing. I think it was just these gimmick PLEs or pay-per-views were created to make money off of them when they were $60 pay-per-views, $50 pay-per-views. But now we live in this Peacock era, or if you're in Europe or other parts of the world, you're in the WWE network. You don't need any
streaming,
Oh,
though,
matches.
right?
Yeah. We're in the streaming era. Like, what is the point of the only one I want them to do a PLE is they need to bring King of the Ring. Like, that was like one of my favorite, but they need to make it mean something, because nowadays it's on SmackDown or it's on Raw, and then you do nothing. It's like you get the typical heel wins, and they're just an annoying ass. And then if a face wins, they never do anything with it. Like Xavier Woods won the last one, and then it went nowhere. He got injured, came back, and it was like he wasn't even the King of the Ring anymore. Like, it just went nowhere. Like the last one that really meant something was way back when like Brock Lesnar won it and stuff like that. Like if they can bring that back, but these other gimmick ones, they can get rid of all of them. And yeah, like you said, they got a whole WCW library. Instead of giving it to NXT like Hollywood, Halloween Havoc, World War III, let's do a main roster of those kind of PLEs.
Starrcade?
Yeah, Starrcade. Like, let's bring those kind of things back and see what happens. I mean, I get it. I guess World War III would be too similar to Royal Rumble, so they don't want it both on main roster. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
but you need like steel cages, Hell in a Cell and stuff. Use that to end rivalries and make sure somebody reigns supreme over someone else. Don't use it as gimmick. I'll be glad if he does it, but who's to know? He canceled one PLA and people just automatically assume, well, look, he's getting rid of the. Give it time. Like, everybody jumps on every little thing Triple H does. Like, calm down for a second. What was
one of your favorite past pay-per-view names that that's no longer? Like, do you have one?
King of the Ring was my favorite because it was always in June.
Like,
right
name,
near my
like,
birthday.
not the event, the name, not the. Like, I'll give you an example. Mine, Fully Loaded. I love that name. That was brilliant. Remember that? It was one of the In Your Houses. All right, Noah, over to you here. What do you think?
I mean, I've been saying it for the last plus decade. It's one of the reasons why I'm so watered out on WWE when I think gimmicks actually should matter, but they don't. For the longest time, I remembered Hell in a Cell matches emanating on the grounds of like No Mercy when Shawn Michaels and Triple H went for 40 minutes to end a bloody, brutal ride where both men left on a freaking stretcher. I remember Judgment Day where I Quit was determined with JBL and John Cena over the bitter of hostilities and ideologies of what it means to represent as the company's champion. For the longest time, Money in the Bank for me, it was the center stage of the ultimate opportunity on the grandest stage of them all, Wrestle freaking Mania. You don't need to freaking market every damn gimmick match once a month just to freaking have another day to sell tickets to make it seem like it's worth something when you're degrading the actual value in the history of storytelling. New Year's Revolution, you set up the freaking year. The Edge literally set up his 2006 at that. Unforgiven, you take out the heinous act you committed up to that point and how you culminated them. Edge and John Cena, 2006 TLC, DX, the McMahons, the Hell in the Cell. Back when the Hell in the Cell was actually silver and not a red crate of hate without milk in it. Yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea to actually take out a lot of these premium live events, pointless gimmick branded ideas, and make the gimmicks matter again on the shows that relate to a theme in storytelling, not center around the same gimmick 2 or 3 damn times that same night where almost none of them freaking matter. I
You know
hope
what
that
I would
this
like
happens
back,
going
Noah?
forward.
You know what I would like back, and this would play perfectly on Peacock because it's NBC.
Mhm.
I'd love Saturday Night Main Event and literally
Yes.
set it up exactly like the old, the red, white, and blue ropes. Do the interviews like over where the crowd is. When you have a cage match, bring the blue monkey bars back.
Retro.
Why not?
Yeah. While you're at it, if I could just add this, while you're at it, get rid of the WrestleMania name with the PLEs that follow WrestleMania, like WrestleMania Backlash.
Backlash.
Get rid of that
yeah,
crap
for
too.
sure.
Just
For
just
sure.
call it Backlash. Damn it! Why you gotta say WrestleMania Backlash? Like,
It's all about the
And-
branding. I mean, we can go on and on. Bad Blood, Armageddon, back when, shows had originality, purpose, and storytelling. Breaking Point was a one-off, and it concluded Randy Orton and John Cena.
and you
I
have
quit.
a group. You have a group named Judgment Day. Bring that back as a PLE and make it
I
all
was
about
waiting
them.
for Judgment Day. to evolve into
It
Judgment
used to
Day.
be called.
It almost writes itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not rocket science. Are you that lazy and content with the fact you got a wallet deeper than Vince McMahon's? I'm not going there. That you freaking can't come up with something original and creative?
Well,
Come on
maybe
now.
Triple H wants to, right?
I
Maybe
hope
this
so.
is
You never know.
maybe
But
he'll take a couple of the gimmick ones away so we can see him implement
Exactly.
something.
Build
new.
something over time. Don't waste a potential idea in great storytelling where you not only move something or sell something, you build someone out of it.
But let me play devil's advocate. You know what the other issue is when you do this? Is remember all the stages that everything had? Like Backlash had the swing. Now when you bring back these names, people are going to want the stages associated with these. Like Backlash had the hooks that swung. I love that, by the way.
And
then
that's the thing. They can do it. Do it.
They
You
don't
can
want
still
to.
have a freaking digital board there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
know what I
this
mean?
high definition digital age. They don't want to.
It's gotta be.
They probably
CGI.
paid a lot of money for all that, though. So this is their way
Mhm.
of justifying that cost.
It costs too much to carry. Like imagine how much it costs to carry the Elimination Chamber places. Like that costs a
Right.
lot.
But they could at least do it on the Big Four, and the Big Four are Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. If they could at least do it during those shows, I feel that's enough
Yeah.
to satisfy those that just want a little bit more personality and originality in the WWE creative process.
Yeah, and last
if you
one,
have
get rid of Money in the Bank as a PLE and put it back on WrestleMania. Like stop that
Walter,
crap.
Walter, preach it every year, my friend. I don't know what's going to happen, but know that I agree with you. I still go back and rewatch Money in the Bank, WrestleMania 23, particularly.
Plus,
You know,
it's a
one
good
thing
way
we're
to
gonna
get
have to-
everybody a payday.
One thing we're going to have to think about for an upcoming episode is if these rumors are true and they're trying to find a creative way for Austin Theory to cash in, like something nobody's ever thought of before. We need to all think of what things they could how they could be different with that and maybe make that a topic for an upcoming show.
I got an idea.
You want to briefly talk? Well, now, Aaron, it's going to be over to you about the PLE names. And of course, if you want to go ahead and bring this up as filler, great.
I'll tie it into this. All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me get to a couple of these super chats. And some people brought up ideas that I was definitely thinking about. I wanted to discuss here. Let's see. So Dwayne Atkinson sent in $2. Thank you, Dwayne. Says, bring back Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, Triple H, please.
WrestleMania 40 will be there live. I will go there live personally if he makes that a thing. If I
I
already
will
don't have
too.
enough
I'll be right along with you.
I agree with that. And Mr. Block Ice sent in a $5 super chat. Mr. Block Ice 22 sent in a $5 super chat. Says, Money in the Bank, put that match in WrestleMania. Hell in a Cell, put that on a real rival. Extreme Rules, bring back One Night Stand. What do you guys think about that? Like doing another, they can't really do an ECW reunion show at this point. Do you think you can do that?
Everyone's too old now. Everyone's up there, man.
To be fair, you got some of them involving Impact Wrestling still.
Yeah.
They could do a reunion show of the 2006 ECW, and they could bring back.
Oh,
They could bring
What
back
was that,
Matt
Shelton?
Stryker and
Rob Van
Kevin
Dam.
Thorne.
What was
oh,
2006?
hey, wait,
Shelton
Aaron,
Benjamin?
Aaron. This ties into our main event. Think about a one-night stand and like it's CM Punk's return to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. One night.
It'd have to be
one night only.
something like that. Yeah.
He comes out to this fire burns.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Triple H bringing back Hog Wild with motorcycles.
I can see that, considering how much he is a motorhead, and I'm
I
not
was gonna
just
say-
talking about Lemmy. R.I.P. That
He
makes
loves
sense.
motorcycles. That would make a lot of sense. Or Bash
And
at the
it
Beach.
would
Bash
be,
at the Beach was fun. That the way they did the arena.
Yeah, they should do that.
Why have they not
Triple
done a
H-
show like that on a beach or something like that? Seriously.
I agree. The problem is they would sacrifice a live gate to do one of those types of shows. But I say do it every now and then just to change things up.
Yeah.
Like they should go to Mall of America, like WCW did. Go to the beach. Maybe go to Sturgis. Like bring back just because WCW did it first. So what? Bring it
They own
back.
all the WCW
That's the whole
properties.
point
Heck,
of-
you could literally make an NXT premium live event out of that. You might as well.
That's the whole point of owning the library. You got it. Do something with it.
Exactly.
Gathering dust and claiming that you have it for a collection.
Let's see here. David Estevez sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Says, I agree with gimmick pay-per-views getting removed, but in my opinion, Cyber Sunday should be back.
Well, that is a fan-driven pay-per-view, so I mean, it's not a bad idea where the fans kind of control the shows, but you almost be reinventing Raw Active.
But did they
Then again,
really let the fans vote count, or did they already know what they were going to do?
Right.
Virtue, I feel like those were always fixed.
I feel like they were fixed too, but I mean, if you think about this digital day and age, it would make sense to bring that back. Like, I
You
don't
put a
Absolutely.
Twitter poll up and make the people think you actually are voting. Because again, your opinions matter. Oh no, wait, you are the authority.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the calendar year real quick here and give my thoughts on what pay-per-view should stay, which should go,
Okay.
which should be added, so on and so forth. So we're going to start with December. I think they should use Starrcade again now that Triple H is in charge.
Agreed.
Make Starrcade a December event to close out the year. January is the Rumble. February, I would keep Elimination Chamber, but I think that they should not have a title match in the Chamber. I think they should have the Chamber match. Now, this might not work because of the title being unified right now, but maybe they could do one men's match and one women's match, and maybe somebody wins the men's Royal Rumble and then the women's Royal Rumble for the SmackDown title. They could have the Raw title contender up for grabs in the Elimination Chamber, and the winner of that match goes on to WrestleMania. I do like the Chamber being in February, so I say keep that. WrestleMania should have Money in the Bank. I did see a comment in the chat room about how would that work at WrestleMania. Well, night one is the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Night two is the men's Money in the Bank
And
ladder
both
match.
are the opener.
Yeah. And then get rid of WrestleMania Backlash for sure. I like King of the Ring as an idea. Put King of the Ring in there, like in June. Winner of King of the Ring gets the SummerSlam title match, and then
But you
they
have
do
to-
the Queen's Crown.
You have to do it all in one night. Don't do that. Some of the matches are on SmackDown. Or you make the person win 4 times in one night.
You
that
Raw
was
and
that's what made
SmackDown
it unique.
for qualifiers.
Yeah,
Make
exactly.
the participants
Well, because that
actually
goes all the
work
way
to
back
be a
to
part of it.
WrestleMania 4, right? Where they
Yeah.
had a bracket in one night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree on that 100%. And of course, get rid of Money in the Bank, get rid of Extreme Rules, get rid of Hell in a Cell, and bring back Cyber Sunday sometime in maybe September or October. Do Cyber Sunday. People are using Twitter and social media more than ever, more than they were in 2005, 2006, 2007. And now it's not where you have to pay $50 for a card that you don't even know what the matches are going to be. Now It doesn't really matter because it's $5 on Peacock. So I think it's a great concept, and I think it makes more sense now than it did 15 years ago. You can have one match determined by Twitter, one match determined by YouTube, one match determined by Instagram, one from TikTok, and that way WWE gets tons of activity on each social media platform. And I never thought that they were fixed. I think WWE manipulated people to think a certain way. I think there were times where the guy that wasn't supposed to win ended up winning and they had to go with it. But yeah, they definitely influenced people for sure. Don't do that though. Let people just vote on what they're going to do, and book whatever you're going to book for each potential match. Like if you have 3 different people, have a way the match is going to go in each scenario so you're prepared, and just let it play out organically.
Yeah, have a butterfly effect. If this person's in this match, are they going to win? If they win, does this happen? If they lose, this is going to happen. Have a butterfly effect going on here.
Yeah. And so,
That's an awesome idea with the social medias. That's actually pretty cool.
About to say, I mean, he covered pretty much all the major platforms, to say the least, except Snapchat.
And lastly, maybe keep the UK pay-per-view as an annual thing. Clash at the Castle, do it once a year, and maybe even add one more international event sometime in the calendar year. Oh, don't forget the Saudi Arabia show. So everything I mentioned, you have to have the Saudi Arabia shows, and then that and scrap the other pay-per-views that haven't.
It's almost like its own separate entity, though. The country redacted show.
It kind of is, paying them. About it. International. I mean, one time they went to Australia. One time Virgin they did Starrcade, but it was just a name for a WWE live house show type deal.
Yeah,
and they never done anything
that's
since.
dumb. Yeah,
I agree. And Aaron, according to Josh Mansfield, he brought this up at Open Mic Night. I guess they're contractually obligated to have a total of 12 premium live events every year in WWE. I think you got close to 10, maybe. You're probably still a couple of short. What's your thoughts on Night of Champions? Should they have a night where all the titles are on the line, just championship matches? Does that still matter in a case?
I don't think they should do that. And plus, I think that they should try to have every pay-per-view have all the titles defended as much as possible. I know it's not every month, but make more of an effort to have every title defended on every pay-per-view or premium.
No, that'd be just absolutely ridiculous. Even with merged titles, you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 titles.
Yeah, so you can't do every title on every show, but try to make more of an effort to get them defended as much as possible. Now, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, bring back Great Balls of Fire as a tribute to Vince McMahon.
That was one of the worst names ever.
And the
but
worst
a good show. Ever. People remember it fondly.
Is that where Joe fought Brock Lesnar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a good show despite the name. That wasn't
bad, yeah.
Now, before we get to the main event, we do have a little side topic here, I guess, from Shanti. He sent in $2. He says, what was your favorite WWE Films movie? Me, The Condemned. I probably agree with that, Condemned.
That was awesome. That was Stone Cold, right?
I watched great.
A lot of them I didn't watch because they just overdid the Marine. They overdid.
There was 8 of them.
But the Call was okay. Was Kane's movie technically that wasn't a bad movie? See No Evil.
See No Evil.
Yeah, See No Evil. I guess.
I love horror movies. That was
done twice or something nonsense like that.
I mean, nobody's saying a chaperone, right? So
no.
Yeah. I thought Knucklehead was actually.
Is that Paul White's?
Yeah, I mean that kind of works with Big Show's comedic stylings. Captain Insano. I mean, we all know.
And I'll get the first Marine movie with Cena, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of his start.
Good.
That was his start, like in Hollywood, So
I never saw 12 Rounds, the Randy Orton version of it. I never watched that one.
Probably
there's 2 different ones. I think there's 2 different ones. I don't know. I just remember a lot of trailers. The only ones I've seen was the original Marine and the Condemned, and out of the 2, it's definitely Condemned for me.
Yeah,
right. We caught up.
Aaron, were you going to mention your idea for the Money in the Bank, or are we saving it for a different?
I will say it real quick if I can remember what it was. I had an idea for Money in the Bank. Oh, so Austin Theory is the Money in the Bank holder. This is probably a stupid idea, but they do Money in the Bank again at WrestleMania, and then you have two people with the Money in the Bank briefcase because technically Austin Theory has a year to cash in, and then somebody cashes in Money in the Bank from WrestleMania, the WrestleMania winner, and then he wins the title, and then Austin Theory cashes in his Money in the Bank.
Oh my gosh! What a domino effect! I thought you were just gonna have the two Money in the Bank winners literally duke it out in a ladder match the following night or some sort of unification. But
you know what you could do?
Crazy.
You know what you could do that's different? I mean, right now Roman Reigns is holding the titles hostage. Cash in on the IC or the US title. Make it seem so important that he had to use his Money in the Bank to cash. But like, think of the instant elevation of that title.
I agree.
You already got somebody holding they unified the titles and they're holding it hostage. So how about you cash in on the Intercontinental or the US title and make it look big? You could do that. Give Seth. Well, now because it's more than a year, you can't do it. But give Seth this crazy long U.S. title run where nobody's beating him, and then somebody has to cash in the Money in the Bank on that title to get it off of him. Like instant, that title seems super important now.
I mean,
let me say this, Walter. If let's say that you were a wrestler and you were in WWE in kayfabe, you had Money in the Bank. What title would you go for?
Exactly. Yeah, I understand, but it's just like the Royal Rumble winner. Remember, they used to have to pick the ECW, the world title, or you knew nobody was going to pick the ECW title, but they had to have it as an option.
Right. Mo Camera is going to be so upset when The Rock is announced to be a Roman Reigns opponent for WrestleMania. I want him on that show once that's official.
I mean,
I want him on a review.
It's literally marquee Hollywood. It has to be the thing they do at this point. It has to be. And Walter, you're talking about
if they weren't related blood, then we're getting all this. They're really trying to think that the Samoan family isn't as close as it really is. Solo hasn't been, talked to this guy in 20 years, and bullshit. Like, come on. Like, these guys, they might not hang out all the time, but these families see each other more than you think they do.
They're tight-knit, definitely.
I mean, I don't think there's a tighter family in the letters connected to WWE than the Anai family, period.
Yeah. And Rock just keeps teasing it. He said head of the table on an interview about
Are we ready for the main event here?
Let's do it.
Well, all right. What was Noah going to say? He was going to mention something.
I was just saying, you put ECW, World Heavyweight, and WWE in the same sentence, then you're talking about Intercontinental and US versus the unified title now. A bit of a discrepancy when it comes to the lineage and the status quo of titles for Money in the Bank or Royal Rumble choices.
I'm just saying, you want the title to feel important, which it seems like they're doing. That'll be one instant way to do it.
Who knows?
Main event.
All right.
NoDQ Galaxy. Could CM Punk return to WWE? Now, Vince McMahon is out of power, right? Now, we know that he had problems with Triple H too, blah, 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 blah. Well, look what happened in AEW. And is there a chance that, because I think Triple H is all about business, and Vince McMahon has brought people back in the past that we thought would never come back, Bret Hart, okay? And so anything is always possible in wrestling. But I also want to propose this option too. Could Tony Khan man up and find a way to make money on this whole situation and still use CM Punk when he's healthy with the Elite? There's a fork in the road here. And Dave Meltzer and all those people are going to have you believe Punk's going to be gone. The EVPs are going to be back. It's their company, Elite Wrestling. But we got to take both into consideration. And even Punk, the unlikeliness of him going back to work for Triple H, it's a possibility. Walter Cruz, what if WrestleMania next year, the night 2 main event in Hollywood was Rock versus Roman, right? We're thinking big here. Mm-hmm. What if night 1 closed with CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes? I'm just saying, you don't tell me, and I'm not yelling at you, but the people out there that would be like, no, never coming back. That Triple H doesn't think of like these possibilities. Business people think of every possibility. Have at it, Walter. You're on the clock here for the main event.
Yeah, the color green seems to have a way to influence a lot of things that you think would never happen. It's all about money. And that's a huge draw. Like, that main event alone, like, you just had me thinking, like, that would be awesome. Like, that main event alone would draw a hell of a lot of money. Who wouldn't
And
want to
Punk
see
would
that?
finally get kind of his wish of
main
closing.
event.
It's not the night 2, I get it, but come on, dude.
Main
He'll get
event
the main event.
WrestleMania.
You know what's funny is that I wish Punk wasn't injured because this whole contract buyout is so close. We're only a few months to Royal Rumble. Imagine if all this is settled by Royal Rumble and how full circle is it that he left a pay-per-view Royal Rumble when he quit? If he came back at a Royal Rumble, like how full circle that story writes itself. Like I just wish he wasn't injured or how I don't know how bad his injury is or how much rehab he needs. But if he can pull out coming out number 30 just to do something, toss somebody over, win, and leave without like risking that much hurt to save him for WrestleMania, that would be the that would be the top. Your site would break again, like Aaron. Like seriously, if they pulled that out somehow, we all know what Royal Rumble is for. It's for the returns. It's for people love the surprises, which they haven't done that much or as many in recent years. Like we've had some, but not as many as they usually do. But then again, if they did that with Punk, then you got to think, well, what are you going to do with Wyatt? Because now everybody would want Wyatt to win the Royal Rumble. It's just,
Walter,
and it all equals this at the end of the day.
Let's break this down. The summer of Punk 2011. It was that year he was working with Triple H, Nash, and all that. He stayed there and had that long title reign through 2014. Right, so if he absolutely everything we know when he left WWE and was disgruntled, it was mostly around the schedule, burned out, working hurt, the doctor there. Here, take a Z-Pack, Phil.
Yeah,
he's got. You know what I mean? Those Vince is gone. Like, there's a lot of things. Like, you got to think. He went to UFC and got his ass kicked, but got paid. You tell me CM Punk thought in his mind that he might have been able to go fight people. No, he saw he was getting a couple $1 million, right? Yep. If he got lucky and maybe landed a punch and beat somebody, okay. He knows business. I mean, he went to AEW. Why? Tony Khan cut him a fat check.
Yep. And there's an old cliche. Timing is everything. Yeah. Time heals wounds. So does money. Damn it. Or it just might be a big F you to Khan. If he releases him, Punk might, and I said that on one of the reviews, I said that might be an F you to Khan, and they'll sign him, and Triple H and CM Punk will get the last laugh. Like, you didn't want to work with me, now look what you did. You done gave me the WWE, and they're gonna I couldn't imagine what their quarter would be at the end when Punk came back. Like that would just be so much money, and now there's no Ryback to bitch about being rough. You get all these new matches. You got a whole new crew. You got a whole new roster.
Remember, he worked at Top for 3 years before he finally was burned out and left. Yeah, if he really truly hated sports entertainment, he would have been gone maybe 2012. So just the fact that he worked. Yeah, I mean, granted, AEW didn't exist then, but dude, I'm telling you. Anything else you want to add, Walter?
You still had Impact. You still had Impact. ROH existed. Then he could have went back to ROH. He was just burnt out with the whole every aspect of it, and he went and rested up. He made millions, losing 2 UFC fights, and that's all that happens. But Cody, I said, time heals all wounds, and I can see this without a doubt. The fact that Vince McMahon is retired and no longer in charge just let you know anything is possible. And I know it's cliche to say it, but it's true.
Even with Vince there, Cody went back, one of the founders of All Elite Wrestling.
And he came back just as he wanted to be, too, with the right music, with everything.
Noah Foster.
At this day and age in the wrestling industry, nothing is impossible. Anything is probable. CM Punk going back to WWE for the biggest paycheck in his life, writes itself. And he can finally go after that one moment he has yet to achieve, main eventing WrestleMania, even if it's night 1. It's still a night dedicated to him in the top spot, the highest payday, winner's purse.
And who says he wouldn't get night 2 the next year?
Exactly. We don't know. Again, suspension of disbelief. Let's put it out there. Does the Roman Reigns agenda still hold up to put him in the top spot night 2 of WrestleMania?
No, the next year would be Roman Reigns versus CM Punk.
Yeah, that could be the case as well. Who's to say neither man would be there?
Yeah.
I would
Who's
not
to say he wouldn't be smart enough to fit that into his contract?
Yeah, no, I mean, literally, I would not rule CM Punk literally, putting in a clause where that's promised to him no matter what. And Triple H, at the end of the day, he's about business. Vince McMahon, he's also about business. Vince McMahon, though, no matter how long it took, he did forgive pretty much anything from the past or somebody that may have, begrudged him or wronged him the bad way. As far as, making money or a resolution out of this on AEW's behalf, Tony Khan, did he already drop the ball? Did he already void the check? Who's to say? But right now, this whole MJF picture we talked about in the very beginning. And how's this for a circle? We talk about MJF at the beginning, to talk about CM Punk at the end, and whether or not that's still to coexist maybe some point in AEW once again. That remains to be seen. At the end of the day, we talk about bidding war in 2024. There's going to be a bidding war maybe in 2022 for CM Punk.
Yeah, dude. And again, I know we're talking about to WWE. Like, I would still like AEW to do the business. Like, that would intrigue me to be invested. Like, I just was saying, I love this controversy. It's making me tune in instead of watching highlights. And then Punk suspended. This whole crap happens, and Punk might be gone. And it's like, oh, my big balloon was deflated.
And I know that we all said that MJF wouldn't leave, but imagine if he did go to WWE and the WWE had Punk and they did the Punk MJF feud that AEW couldn't do in WWE.
Things would have to get
crazy.
Like, listen. Never say never. And if the EVPs, if the elite really make that locker room toxic, that would be a very big possibility that you're going to see the big people going back under Triple H this time.
And I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but if Vince brought back the Ultimate Warrior, he was an asshole. I don't care what people say he passed away. If he brought him back 3-4 times, how many times he brought him back? 3 times? If he can bring him back and forgive him, then Punk has no issue. Or Hogan, after all that controversy.
Brought in Bischoff.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron.
Embrace the man. No one is off limits going in between AEW or the WWE in this industry.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $5 super chat, and I'll answer this one. He says, imagine if WWE allowed CM Punk to cut another pipe bomb where he buries AEW, Colt Cabana, the Elite, and all of his enemies. WWE fans would cheer no matter what.
Would that be scripted or unscripted?
Well, I don't think it really needs to be discussed because I don't think it's going to happen. If CM Punk does come back to WWE, I think the chances of him referencing AEW are slim to none. I think he would come back and he might do a little joke, say, January 27th, 2014, I left sports entertainment. June 25th, 2023, I've returned to sports entertainment. He might say something like that as a little reference to AEW, but I don't think he'll actually take a shot at anybody. Will he come back? I think it's something that is a possibility. I would not be surprised if it happens, but I also would not be surprised if it doesn't happen. I think that as a businessman, he would talk.
Aaron, I just thought of this. What if negotiation? I don't know when the negotiations are up between WWE and Fox. Fox could say, hey, we want CM Punk. We wanted him last time. You didn't get him. The climate's different now. That's even more of a possibility that it could happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
think
if
the
CM
network
Punk
influence things.
If CM Punk wanted to come back, I think Triple H would hear him out, and I think the two could possibly work something out for business. And we've seen the Ultimate Warrior return. We saw Bruno Sammartino return, Bret Hart, people that had bad blood with WWE, people that were involved in multi-million-dollar lawsuits with WWE came back. Sable came back. There was a lawsuit between her and WWE. So it's certainly a possibility in wrestling. Anything can happen. Did we think Vince was going to retire this year? We did not.
No.
Did we think Cody Rhodes was going to return to WWE, leave his EVP role in AEW, and come back?
He brought back the Hardys after all Jeff did legally.
Yeah, they
CM
gave him
Punk's
numerous
that guy where when things are going bad, you can have a few fans like somebody in the chat, I'm so done with CM Punk. And then when they see him back, they're going, CM Punk.
Oh, yeah.
CM Punk. That's the power that CM Punk has.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's the presence he sets. That's the influence. That's how he changes the culture, as he puts it.
I just so wish that he could be back by Royal Rumble. Like, even if they signed him, though, he can't heal. Yeah, he can't heal by then.
Realistically, he'll probably be ready to wrestle again, maybe spring. After WrestleMania.
The Trolls in Chicago, subtle teases, plant the seeds on Monday Night Raw through Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves.
How would you bring them back, though? Are you going to do these scanner things again and little clues? Like,
They could do some.
You've got a lot of stuff to play with now.
Some kind of viral teases.
They did the worst kept secret, so I don't know how you top that.
The thing is, if he comes back, like, he's going to be 45. He's probably not coming back as a full-time wrestler, but I could see him coming back and doing a part-time schedule like Edge, where he does maybe 4 or 5 pay-per-views a year, and maybe he'll finally get his WrestleMania main event on night 2 in Philadelphia in 2024. Could very well happen.
If we start hearing other people in promos talk about best in the world, we might know it's coming. Like little teases like that might start happening. Or like you might start hearing best in the world all of a sudden again, like little phrases he used to say. Yeah.
And who knows? He, like Virtue said, he might go back to AEW.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Like part of me wants that more than the return to WWE because of that animosity exists. Which if they're professionals, that would make it believable in front of the camera. That's why I would rather actually see him go back there.
But Khan's got to have the guts to book it and just do it. Like he's got to have.
That's what Vince McMahon always had. Vince McMahon would at least let some things play out on TV.
Vince had the grapefruits.
For all the things people said they don't like about it, he's still.
Yeah. Vince also had zero tolerance, and he literally fought with the boys. Tony Khan is a fan of the boys. He's not one of the industry. He's just a fan of the industry. That's a whole different perspective when it comes to who you're working with.
Right.
Bret Hart literally punched Vince McMahon in the face and knocked him out, and he brought him back. So,
indeed, he did. Yep. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, and then we're caught up. He says, "Imagine WWE bringing back Ryback to fight CM Punk."
They wouldn't do that.
No, they wouldn't do that.
Ryback ain't worth a damn at this point.
Yeah, that's a polite way of putting it.
Is anybody even interested in his, like, I don't even see people talk about his appearances or anything, like autograph signings, nothing.
It surprises me he never went to control your narrative.
But I tell you one thing,
right? He don't even want them.
They should get him to replace.
He was a little over than most
Strowman.
people give him credit for, because people were screaming "Feed me more" a lot when he first was.
That's one of those things, though. Were they screaming for that, or were they just in the moment of the chant, like the Fandango dance?
That's like the interactivity, where you're kind of there to be part of the moment, but you're not necessarily engaged in it. You just go along with it.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron.
We're caught up.
We're caught up. So great show. We're hour and 2 minutes, and you know what time it is. We're gonna go around and do our plugs and maybe get out of here so I can go relax. It could be after dark. Who knows? But Noah, I'm glad you were back on this evening. You were supposed to be on last week, but you were out under the weather. And just like Triple H, I think you're both better already in a week. Kudos. Do your plugs.
Always a pleasure. Looking forward to be back on here again. Folks, first off, stay tuned for the Championship Network Multiverse Media, bringing you all sorts of things wrestling, all sorts of things Disney. The dads on wrestling, not on wrestling. Tons of movie reviews coming up on Casa D18 Studios, and continued watch-along live commentary reactions with me, JJ, James Hebert, and Jeff Beecham for all sorts of WWE Premium Live events, AEW previews, and so much more coming up in the month of November. But if you want to know more about me, know this, for I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of, what's the words? Oh, yeah. Professional wrestling! Damn it! But I digress. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to my entire W family on Twitter. I'll continue bringing all elite coverage on Steve Fallout's Wrestling right here on YouTube. I'll be back here for more reviews. I'll be back, of course, the Jeff Beecham Network, Casa D18 Studios for Open Mic Night, and some more Super Predictive videos in November with or without the NoDQ Galaxy 2. But as always, I like to conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. They're just fans with no opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Treasure your families. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. And I'll see y'all next time.
Well said. Follow that, Walt.
Exactly. Well, we're under 2 hours with Walter on here, so we did something. We're 4 minutes over an hour.
That was a great moderating duty by me. Cut me off when I needed to.
Yeah. We have, like we say, Noah Foster is the simple man. I'm the simple follow. I have Cal Fire Farms. You can see the spelling there on Instagram. And on Twitter, I'm at Walter Alex Cruz, and that is it for me.
All right, good to have you on, and over to Aaron.
Good to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being on, guys. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. And quick plug for myself and Jeff Meacham, the greatest wrestling Q&A ever. Tuesday, November 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern. We are going to have a fun time to celebrate NoDQ's 24th birthday, as well as the 20-year anniversary of the debut of Jeff Meacham and the birth of NoDQ Media.
Congrats to
That was
both of
20
you.
years ago. 20
Congrats
years
to both.
ago this month.
All right.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says Ryback versus Von Wagner for the 24/7 title. I mean, I think the 24/7 title is beneath them or above them at this point, I should say.
Yeah.
I'll say Von Wagner's above 20% champion. I'll just leave it at that.
All right, Virtue.
Go to NoDQ.com/merch and you can get shirts. Great shirt. They're like the I'm Sorry Virtue shirt, the NoDQ logo, and Virtue is on the back. And the other great stuff, the NoDQ logo shirts. Walter Cruz, I don't know if you got a shirt on there yet. Big G's got a shirt. Tito's got a shirt. Noah, you might have a shirt. I don't know, but go over there and check out the merch.
We should soon have one, hopefully, for me.
Follow me on Twitter if you dare at NoDQ_Virtue. This has been the NoDQ review number 210. And we will be back at it again next week. So for Noah Foster, Walter Cruz, and Aaron Rift, I am Virtue. Good evening, NoDQ Galaxy. We'll see you again next time.
Have a good night, folks.